Hi, I'm Dr. Marty Klein. Today I want to answer the question, if your guy doesn't always orgasm, should you worry? Let's call this guy Lewis. He was referred to me by a well-known Bay Area urologist. The doctor said there's nothing wrong with me physically, he said, so he sent me to you. Lewis is 66 years old, in a 2-year relationship with a woman we'll call Maria. Lewis's first wife died of cancer a few years ago, and after a few uninspiring dates here and there, he connected strongly with Maria, who is about 60. Maria loves sex, said Lewis earnestly, and I really want to please her. Okay? And what pleases Maria? Something Lewis can't always provide. His erections are fine, thank you, but Maria expects Lewis to climax every time they have sex, and the guy's body just can't deliver an orgasm every time. Are you sexually frustrated when you don't orgasm with Maria? I asked. Not really, he said. Doc, I would have been frustrated if this happened when I was 20, but at this point, it's pretty okay with me, he said. But it's not okay with Maria, right? Yeah. And that's why you're here, right? Not because you're dying to climax more, but because Maria's upset, right? And don't get me wrong, he replied. We get along great, and I would do anything for her. And because me orgasming every time is so important to her, I thought I'd see you for help. So you enjoy the sex with Maria, right? Right. And Lewis went on, she's beautiful, enthusiastic, she'll do anything in bed. And I asked him, and she enjoys it, right? Oh, yeah. She tells me I'm sexy and it's great for her, and she comes a lot and she's always in the mood. Sounds great, I told him. So why are either of you creating a problem out of this lovely arrangement? Lewis paused. I hadn't really looked at it that way, he said. She says she doesn't feel like she's doing her job if I don't come every time. She says guys need to come. She says that she doesn't want me to ever feel unsatisfied or that she isn't trying hard enough. So I said, so if I could snap my fingers and get Maria to accept your sexuality just as it is, would you consider the situation resolved? Lewis rushed to her defense. She does accept me, he said, more than any woman ever has, even my deceased wife. She'll do anything I want. She never says no to any part of sex. And I said, well, that does sound great, and I bet you feel fortunate to have such a sexually oriented partner, especially at your age. You're almost as old as I am. I said, yeah, he replied, I'm a very lucky guy. And my friends and my adult kids all tell me that. And yet, I said gently, and yet, there's one part of your sexuality that Maria is not entirely comfortable with, your orgasm or your lack of it. Is that a little confusing or frustrating or disappointing to you? Well, Lewis paused and he gathered his thoughts and he chose his words carefully, I could tell. I have no complaints, he said. Maria's great. But if she could just back off a little on the orgasm thing. She says she'll do whatever it takes, but his voice kind of trailed off. I could see he was a little sad. He really did want to please her. But something in sex that you can't control, I said, like if and when you have an orgasm, right? And let's face it, the older you get, the more true that is. So Lewis asked me, is that how it is for all guys my age? It's not just me having this problem? And I said, yeah, your body's changes are pretty common. Well, he lit up with relief. Although I have to tell you, that's why I hesitate to tell people, don't worry, you're just like other people. People love when I tell them that. But when I tell Lewis, you're just like other men your age, neither he nor Maria have to do the heavy lifting psychologically that they really need to do. They can decide that Lewis's sexuality should be accepted because he's normal, rather than because he's a unique human who deserves to be accepted no matter what. What if I hadn't said that he was normal? And what if he went to a different therapist? And let's say he told this other therapist he likes to be spanked, or he likes to watch Maria with another man, or he needs his penis caressed with a shoe to get excited. And what if that therapist told him that he's not normal? Well, Lewis was pleased to find out that he's normal, his word, not mine. But he was still left with two problems. Maria's need for him to climax every time they have sex, and his desperate need for Maria to not be disappointed. It's a shame to do that to such a great sexual relationship, don't you think? I asked him again. He responded reasonably, okay, what should I do? So I said, Lewis, the key is to realize that there's nothing wrong with how you express your sexuality, especially if you're content with it, except for Maria's frustration, right? So here are the steps that I recommended that they take together. Let her know you're very, very happy with your sex together, and tell her that you're the one who gets to decide whether you're satisfied or not. Let her know she's a great sex partner for you, and you don't need her to do anything different. Let her know that your orgasm is not going to be the way that you express how satisfied you are and how much you enjoy being with her. And let her know that if she has trouble believing you, that you're sympathetic and you want to be helpful, but that you will not try to deliver more orgasms as a way of comforting her. So Lewis listened to this and he said, so you're not solving the problem I came in with. You're taking away the problem, right? I said, right. He said, well, I'm going to tell all this to Maria. He was very excited about this approach. He said, do you have any homework for us? And I did. I said, the next time you have sex together, he leaned forward, his old ears, I said, the next time you have sex together, decide in advance that you won't have an orgasm. He looked at me. He said, isn't that the problem that we're fixing? I said, no, that's not the problem we're fixing here. I said, remember, the problem is not your orgasm. The problem is Maria's disappointment and your dismay about her disappointment. So plan together, that you won't have an orgasm. Have great sex together, don't come, and then she can't be disappointed because she'll know in advance what to expect, and you won't feel guilty about disappointing her. Oh, Lewis said, oh, I get it. We're going to just have sex, which we know how to do. I said, that's right. And once you have great sex without disappointment, and you see how much you like it, and how relaxed you both were, and you talk about how you created it, you won't never go back to that old way of having sex. So Lewis says, so sex without feeling bad that she feels bad. That would be great, he said. Well, our time was up, so I asked Lewis if he wanted another appointment. He said, let me tell Maria all the stuff we talked about, have this new kind of sex a few times, and I'll let you know if I need to come back. I said, fine, and I never saw him again. But I did get an email from Maria about 3 weeks later. It simply said, Dear Dr. Klein, you were right. Lewis enjoys sex when he has an orgasm. Lewis enjoys sex when he doesn't have an orgasm. And now I enjoy sex with Lewis whether he orgasms or not. Thank you. Oh, P.S., she said, now I believe it. Lewis really does think I'm a great sex partner whether he orgasms or not. Well, I'm Dr. Marty Klein. Thanks for joining me. And if you want to get one of these video quickies every weekend, just click the red subscribe button and you'll be notified every single week when I publish one. And again, thanks for joining me.